Hey guys, Sith Lord 310 here with the movie review for Dunkirk. Dunkirk is Christopher Nolan's newest movie, and it's a war movie about the events that happen in Dunkirk. Now, if there are a lot of history buffs out there who are gonna watch this movie, and there's some historical inaccuracies. Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, nothing big. It's not like Inglourious Bastards type of historical inaccuracies. But then again, that wasn't meant to be a true story. But either way, you know what I mean. Um, this movie is a different type of film. Just like War for the Planet of the Apes, it's not your typical war movie. It's not explosions and action pieces. It's a slow movie. It moves slowly. It really depends on, the progress of the story. And it really makes you feel like you're in the situation of these characters. And let me say, this movie isn't, a lot of people are going to dislike this movie because of this. The characters aren't fleshed out at all. You meet these characters, you don't find out most of their names. They're there. They do stuff. They don't have no overlanding arc or anything. And one of the things that this movie does is that it really goes away from the stereotypical war movie, cliches, if you will. A lot of war movies, they have this thing about, let's make a war movie and let's have, a quiet scene after a big battle where the soldiers talk about their families at home and, giving you pretty much reasons why you should care when they later die. There's a dick in the group who's the total asshole to the main character. And later on, he turns around and ends up saving the main character. All this other war movie cliches. This movie follows none of those. This movie is very original. It's very unique. It's a beautiful film, like I said before. The score really drives this movie along because there's not a lot of talking. There really isn't. There's some dialogue, the dialogue is smart, Christopher Nolan dialogue, but the score of the movie is what really drives the movie home. The score by Hans Zimmer is probably one of Hans Zimmer's best scores to date, actually. And then the movie is pretty short. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe it's Christopher Nolan's shortest film. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it clocks in around 2 hours, exactly 2 hours. So it's pretty short. And the movie is it's interesting. It's intriguing. It pulls you in. The action, when there is, action scenes, or war scenes, I should say, they're intriguing and they pull you in and you care about, the situations, and it really makes you feel like you're there. The sounds in this movie are breathtaking. The helicopters, the airplanes sound like airplanes, like real life war airplanes. The gunshots sound like actual gunshots. They don't sound like over the top Hollywood gunshots with like boom explosions. Same thing. They seem realistic. They seem like actual, bombs are dropping down on this beach. It's not like Transformers where the explosion looks like a freaking firework. And yeah, this movie really does a good job of putting you in the situation of these characters who are in a hopeless situation, really, at this point. And that's spoiled the movie, but, I mean, there's not much to spoil. It's a historical event, so if you know your history, you know what happens. But either way, when, anytime the characters get some kind of, you think, oh, they're going to make it out of the beach now. Nope, something happens, and their way of getting off of the beach gets foiled. And they got to try it again, and try it again, and try it again. This movie really puts you in the perspective of these people, and if you put yourself in the perspective of these people, you feel how desperate and how dire they are to get off of this beach. And it is a great movie, guys. I really enjoyed it. Probably gonna be my top 10 of the year, actually. And yeah, it's just a beautiful movie. It doesn't need dialogue to express everything. The score really carries this movie. And the best thing about this movie is that it puts you in the situation of these characters. And it's one of those movies that you need to pay attention to, like most Christopher Nolan movies. You can't just be looking at something else and then come back to the movie. It's not that type of movie. You need to be glued to the movie, stuck on it, paying attention, because certain small things pay off later on in the movie, and so forth. But yeah, Dunkirk was actually a really surprising movie. I really enjoyed it. I hope it gets some type of Oscar talk later in the year. But yeah, guys, I really enjoyed Dunkirk. What did you guys think of Dunkirk? Comment below and let's start a discussion, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As always, you guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook at SithLord310. And as always, guys, may the Force be with you.